Good morning, my magnificent ones. Sue Paulson here, your magnificence mentor. We're back with another episode of Tea with Sue. Oh, I've been waiting for that for a couple hours, so tastes good. Today, the title of the topic is, If Not Now, When? A dear friend of mine who a couple of years ago transitioned from life on planet Earth to the spirit realm. This was her favorite expression, if not now, when? It became a guiding light for her when she hit 50, because you know what happens when we hit these transition ages. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and so on. There's almost a pause, a time when we look at, oh, well, am I where I want to be in life at this point in time? Or have I done all the things I wanted to do yet? Or what more is there for me to do? So her pet phrase became, well, if not now, when? When will you do it? If you haven't done all the things you wanted to do, haven't achieved your heart's desire, or even started working on it, when are you going to do that? So it was about delaying what would be in our own best interests. I don't know about you, but I've done that lots, where I thought, well, I should be doing this first, and this person needs me over here, and that organization needs me over there. I should. And I'm so busy shoulding on myself that I forget that I have hopes and dreams and wishes and things that would make me sing, make my life sing, and I'm not doing them. So, and time marches on, right? So pretty soon you get to a certain age and you go, well, too late now. And then we live in regrets. So I really want to focus today on having you explore that whole idea. So what's stopping you from getting your heart's desire? The thing or things or the people in your life that would help contribute to your health, your happiness, and your well-being. What's stopping you from moving forward with that? Well, I know for me, a lot of times it has been me in the way. I had fears, I had doubts, or I maybe express a cool idea to someone and they would say, oh, Sue, why would you want to do that? And then the naysayers would just kind of swamp my boat. And because I didn't have a lot of confidence to start with, then I would end up just not doing anything about it, or I'd put it off and I'd put it off. And then finally I'd go do something else. So, well, we do that, right? But I think we do that to our detriment far too often. We tend to put ourselves second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh in line. And then the resentment sets in, because I know I spent a lot of years saying, well, when is it my turn? Well, it's my turn when I decide it's my turn, not when nobody else is going to give me a turn. There might be the odd person out there who would say, okay, it's okay, get in front of me. But maybe there's still a lineup of 25 other people and they're going to stand their place in line. So it's time that we say, well, when is it my turn? It's my turn when I decide. it's my turn. And of course, anytime we come up with an idea that we say, wow, wouldn't that be the coolest thing ever to do or to have or to be? Well, if it just stays an idea, then it won't ever be real. So one of the phrases that I remember from out of my past was, a thought not turned into action never existed. So you've probably heard people say when there's a new invention of some sort, and somebody will look at this invention and a bunch of people will say, oh wow, that's so cool, and then somebody else will say, oh yeah, I had that idea years ago. Well, fine, but what did you do about it? Did you do anything about it? Well, no, oh, that guy stole my idea. Well, but you didn't put it into practice. You didn't take the steps to implement it and make that idea a reality. So somebody else did. So that's kind of what happens. Now, not that I think that we ever miss out on what's for our highest good, because I don't. I think that things come in their own time. And there's an interesting harmonizing that comes with being aware of what's going on in any particular circumstance. So there's something about divine timing that comes into play in a lot of the plans we have for wherever we want to go in life. Sometimes our plans are a little premature because things aren't lined up for us, that we have this idea. And of course, I don't know about you, but I tend to be a little bit impatient, and I want to manifest like this quickly. Well, it is possible, but not usually, at least for me, not usually. Usually it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it only takes 10 minutes, but sometimes it takes 2 years or 3 years or whatever. And I heard a very cool idea the other day that said, patience is also an action. And I'm going, let me think about that. Because when we're patient, we're just waiting, right? We're just saying, oh, well, I'll just let that happen. So the coffee's perking and you're waiting and you're just patient. Well, that patience pays off at some point. If we're patient enough, long enough, then, the grapes don't turn into wine overnight. The vines need to come to full leaf, and then the grapes need to appear and then develop their own level of just the right sweetness and ripeness and so on. Well, that takes time. And so do some of our ideas. Some of the things that we most want to manifest will take time and energy, and it's like the puzzle pieces need to fall into place. And sometimes we don't have all the pieces yet. So I think it's important to look at what's going on and poke at the resistance points. So where do I feel resistance in this whole scenario? And if you've checked and you genuinely believe that it's not you that's in the way, lots of times I'm in my own way, I'm stepping on my own hose, and it just doesn't work because I have things to clear out. Maybe it's some anxiety about it, some old fears, some old beliefs that I need to deal with before I'm able to allow the manifestation of whatever it is that I want. And that's on me, and that I can do something about, and I can do something about that usually right now. But if it's not that, then maybe there's something else that's at play that you can't know about. And so just allowing a little space and a little time to say, well, in the right time, it will happen. If that's, and I always have the thing of, if that's for my highest good, then it will come to be. I don't always know. In fact, I don't often know what's for my highest good. I know what my deepest desire is, and I know where I believe I want to go, and how that would make me feel. But I don't always know. There might be something better than what I've seen, because we tend to have tunnel vision, right? We tend to just see what we see. We believe what we believe. We hold dear what we think we know. And lots of times we don't even know what we don't know. Lots of times nothing is clear except in this space. But if we open up the space and look up and around and back and down, we begin to realize, whoa, there's more here than I knew. And that's what the universe sees. The universe sees all of it, all of us and all of it. And so it's totally equipped to provide whatever it is, to put those pieces that we don't see into place in divine timing, so that what we most want comes into being. So this is where I was talking about the balance comes in. So the balance between, or the harmony between procrastination, am I just putting it off because I'm scared, or I'm worried about what people will say, or, all of those things that roll in our minds, when in fact, just doing it right in that moment, whatever your part is, would be more helpful. So there's that part that we want to look at. The a former instructor colleague of mine once said, well, Sue, there's a great deal of difference between motivation and activation. And I didn't understand what he was saying, so I asked for clarification, and he said, there's always things going on that you're never going to be motivated to do. Activation, however, you get it done because it has to be done regardless. So you have a sink full of dirty dishes. Is anybody motivated to wash those dishes and get them back in the cupboard? Well, probably some people are, but I'm not usually motivated to do that. Well, what activates me? What makes me do it, even though I don't want to do it? It's when I want to have a meal and all the dishes are dirty. And so, or I have company coming, and then I get activated. Oh my goodness, how quickly can I get these dishes done? Because the doorbell's going to ring in like 5 minutes. So, okay, Susie Homemaker, I'm not, I confess. It's not my favorite thing. So, but there's the thing. How many times do we not activate ourselves when we could? We're waiting to be motivated. Well, I'm not too motivated to do that right now. I think I'll just read a book. And my study skills students, when I used to teach many years ago, I'd say to them, well, pick a reward. What reward do you want in order to get you to do whatever it is that you don't really want to do? And of course, this was related to studying, but it relates to anything. Well, I get to have a lovely cup of tea once I'm done this. So I find that worked for my students, and it certainly works for me. I plan my reward ahead. Well, what would be nice to have as a reward in order to do this thing that's a little bit nasty? Well, of course, once you start down that road, then it's easier and easier to get activated to do lots of things that you don't really care to do, but they're there to be done. So that's all part of that process of turning your dreams into reality. Because let's face it, there are going to be parts of our dreams and our goals and so on that we don't either know how to do, or we don't want to do, or we resist doing because we'd rather somebody else did it. So that can stop us. So it's to say, how can I work through that tedious part in order to get to into the part where there's things that I really enjoy? Like, how do I get from here to there? And activation can really help with that. And then it's kind of funny how after a while, then you're motivated because, so for example, even though I'm not doing housework is not really thrilling to me, I do like a clean place. And so I found that over the years, my tolerance for mess is less and less and less. So now, if there's 2 or 3 things out of place, I'm more than likely to put them back in place, simply because I can't tolerate the mess anymore. And so, and then the times that I do, then I take myself in hand and say, okay, Sue, time to get busy here and do what needs to be done. So it's this interesting process of clearing your mind and then taking action rather than thinking about it. And maybe you've noticed that we have a tendency to spend far more time trying not to do something we don't want to do than if we just got busy and went ahead and did it. So so teenagers cleaning their rooms are kind of like that, right? They can spend an hour fussing at you about why they don't want to do it and why it's not good, when you know that if they just turned right around and went into their rooms and did it, they'd be done in probably 15 minutes, and they'd have the rest of that hour to do something they wanted to do. So we're funny that way in the way our minds work. So this week, what I want to encourage you to do is explore those ways that you're procrastinating, those ways that you're stopping yourself from the enjoyment and the happiness that you could be getting out of life. And then see what you can do to bit by bit switch that around. So if you're not living your best life, if you're not fulfilling the dreams that are really important to you, well, when will you do that? If not now, when? You know you can do this. You are that magnificent. So play with that for this week. Have a glorious weekend, and I'll look forward to seeing you back at Tea with Sue next week. In the meantime, if you're enjoying Tea with Sue and you'd like to catch up on episodes you might have missed, they're all on my YouTube channel, Sue Paulson, and you can also find them on my app, The Magnificence Mentor, which is a free download from Google Play or the Apple Store. So if you become a free member on there, then it opens up all the content that's available to you. Take good care, my magnificent ones. See you soon.